On CBS This Morning is Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. He was with Ivanka Trump yesterday to promote increasing the child tax credit. Senator, good morning.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
It's good to have you. Let me begin with
Thank
this.
you.
What is the single most divisive issue with respect to deductions or whatever it is among Republicans that might threaten this passage of this bill?
Well, hopefully there's nothing that will threaten the passage of this bill. However, there are a number of itemized deductions that people will see as sacred cows. So we're going to have to go through the process of understanding and appreciating the impact that will have on our ability to lower taxes for the average hardworking person in the middle class.
Where do you stand on capping the deduction for 401ks? In other words, should wealthy Americans get that deduction?
Well, I spent 20 years in the financial services industry, so I'm a huge fan of making sure that we preserve the retirement incentive. If you think about it this way, in South Carolina, the average South Carolinian has about 1 year of income in his retirement or her retirement account. That is not good news. We need to make sure that we continue to encourage retirement savings so that fewer people are challenged while they're in their, as I used to call it, the third half of their life, the part of their life where they get to enjoy the benefits of school and work.
Now, the New York Times has described this tax reform plan as the glue holding the party together, adding this analogy. It's a bit like having a baby to save a failing marriage. What do you think will happen if the tax reform plan doesn't pass? And has the Republican Party learned anything from the failure to repair and replace Obamacare that they could use in the tax reform plan to make sure that they have more success there?
Well, A, I'm confident that this plan will pass. B, what we've learned through our previous failures is how to get it right. The reality of it is that the House, the Senate, and the White House, we've been talking for months about tax reform. We were not all on the same page during the health care debate. We are on the same page as it relates to tax reform. Now we're going to have to work out the unique nuances between each plan, but the good news is we're looking at getting this done by Thanksgiving, so folks will have a great opportunity to understand what it is we're doing for them by the time we get to the holidays.
So, Scott, you've had two colleagues in the Senate speak out against President Trump and the mood in the country. Where do you stand on that, and how serious of a division is there within the Republican Party?
Well, there's one thing that's certain with the Republican Party, that we are not a homogenous group of folks who all think exactly the same, which is good news for the American people. The tent is big enough for a lot of diverse opinions within the party. At the same time, the focus of the Republican Party is not on the party. It's on the American people. We have sometimes strong differences on how we believe we bridge the gap to make sure that the average person has a better future than they had a good past. So for us to get there, there's going to be some disagreements. I think that's actually healthy for the party and frankly healthy for the country, as long as we remember that we're one country.
Do you agree with the criticism from Senator Flake and from Senator Corker?
Well, I'm not going to get into the criticisms of any specific senator or individual. What I know is that healthy debate is necessary for us to challenge some of the highest priorities of the American people and the largest issues that loom large for our country.
Healthy for someone from your party to say the President of the United States is a danger to democracy, that it's a sickness that's contagious? That's healthy?
Well, what's healthy for our country is for us to debate tax credits. I know that it's certainly popular for news to talk about the differences and the divide in the party. I'm not going to jump into that with you guys. What I'm going to do is focus my attention and my responsibilities are first to take care of the American people as it relates to tax reform and other major issues. The spats between individuals, that's not my priority nor my objective to get involved in those spats. What is my objective is to make sure that we are sincere, consistent, and clear with the American people on my priorities for the American people.
Senator, can you pledge that the tax reform or tax cut will be revenue neutral and won't add to the debt?
Yeah, so I think the answer, of course, is yes, that if you look at the impact of lowering the impediments for economic and dynamic growth, you'll have an opportunity to experience more economic activity. That more economic activity, meaning people will spend more money. If you give folks $25 more in their paycheck, they're going to spend $20. That activity is without question real. And with a small increase in activity, we'll see ourselves with a stronger, more dynamic economy.
Senator Scott, we thank you for taking time to join us this morning. We really do appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks. For West Virginia.